So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. Three brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after classes when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we're live.
Here we go.
One of the best or the best episode we've done?
It's a good one. It's up there. And we were talking before, right after the episode, we were talking in it, not to take anything away from anybody else, but it seems like all these guys that came out of that Machado line are super fun, super easygoing. They have a great jiu-jitsu mind, but it also carries over to the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
They all do other things, very important work. And it's super cool. It's really cool to talk to these guys. I haven't had one stinker yet that's come out of that lineage.
Yeah, first of all, I think it's mind-blowing to me personally to talk to some of these guys who are part of Dirty Dozen and really, have trained or received their black belts in early 90s, and really, paving the path for all of us, Mm-hmm. I mean, without guys like David or John Will or Chris Howder, that first generation of American black belts, like we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We wouldn't be sitting here, for good or bad, but like unlikely they would be here. They've done, a huge favor to all of us, to sending, to paying forward, to teaching others, and that information being passed on from generation to generation, and then us having this, very unique opportunity to have an hour or so. This one was a long one, like hour and a half, but, having these opportunities to talk to these guys and really pick their brain and, learn a little bit of history, and get their perspective. But one of the things that he did talk about, which we want to focus on right now, was permission to tap.
Right.
And there's this moment, we're not going to say the whole story here, but there's this moment when Rigan Machado tells David, it's okay to tap. Why do you think we are so hyper-focused and stubborn and not tapping?
There's a couple of reasons, right? One is ego. Oh, I don't want to lose, right? I want to win. I don't want to lose. We don't want to admit we've been bested. But I think there might be something deeper that I was just thinking about as you were asking the question of, you have to admit that this person can kill you. And that's hard to admit. We walk around our whole lives thinking that we could do this, we could do that. If I was in this fight or that fight, as guys anyway, I would do whatever and I could handle myself and I'm not afraid. But there are literally guys on the mat that I train with on a daily basis that I know could kill me. They could kill me, not because I did something wrong, not because
you're talking about their ability.
Their ability, yes, they could kill me, right? I've been on the mat with guys that their size alone, right? If I knew nothing, they could probably do some very, very serious damage. And then you throw in years and years of training for them, they could kill you.
Yep.
And it might be really something deep inside yourself that doesn't let you tap. Listen, hey, if there's somebody who's coming up, a white belt, a blue, there's blue belts here that wreck me all the time. There's also that aspect of it where I should be better than this. Technically, I shouldn't be letting this it shouldn't have gotten this far, that they have the availability to tap me even. So there's that aspect too. But I really think it's got something deep down inside you that you have to admit that you are not in any way superior to this person that's sitting on your chest, that's got that choke sunk in. I think sometimes arm bars and stuff aren't quite as scary and it's not that big of a deal. But for me anyway, it was always like those chokes. It's like, this guy could kill me. This guy could kill me. Right. And it's very hard to admit that, I think, as a male, to say, hey, this dude who might be maybe not as in good a shape, or, even he's 20 years younger, right? You think at some point you could take a kid. I could take this kid, right? But you got a 15-year-old kid on the mat who's been training his whole life, who also, lifts and wrestles and blah, does all these other things. That's got to be super hard for people to say, I got to give up.
I would be curious to hear that perspective from a female, because I agree with you 100%. Us guys, the amount of testosterone that we have going on and all these things and competitive approach, it's almost like our life depends on it. It's almost like we feel almost ashamed in a sense.
Oh, of course, there's shame involved.
There's like the fact of like we fail. Like it is our existence will be dissolved almost. Like in some, and I'm being dramatic about this, but oftentimes, especially at the beginning of the journey, when we are white and maybe blue belts,
But I think
like that survival.
Yeah, I don't think it ever really goes away, right?
No, I don't think it does. However, I think things do change.
Yeah.
Because as longer we train, more we recognize. That was a loud one.
That was you. I'm doing my impression of you.
Great. I think the longer we train, we acknowledge the fact that tapping is important. So for safety purposes. Two, also putting ourselves in vulnerable situations and having the point of failure allows us to acknowledge where our weaknesses are, and that's how we grow, And then, I think the ego factor, it kind of goes away. I think more we train, more fun becomes. And this is often made comment, where, I wish I wasn't so stubborn at the beginning. I wish I tap sooner because I would learn more. I see more where I don't focus on a submission or on a defending for your life, not tapping, And I would be curious, though. I sidetracked with the comment, but I would be curious how this is viewed from a female perspective. Do women who train jiu-jitsu, do they view it the same way? Is their ego the same as is with the guys? Is their competitive drive is the same with as is experience with the, and I know they don't know what it looks like with the guys, but I'm curious to actually hear. So if you're listening to this, you are female training jiu-jitsu, drop me a line. Drop us a line, send us a message. I would love to have the perspective. I would love to, and maybe we can ask one of our future.
We
female
have one coming up, right?
We have a couple of them, in the pipe, and we can ask female competitors who, how do they feel about this? But there is something behind that. I think we have to let go in a not a physical way. This is subconsciously. We have to, or consciously actually.
Yeah.
We have to let go of the fact that we are submitting ourselves. This person you know,
You're
like
taught-
you said,
You're
they
taught to
could
never
hurt
do
you.
that. You're taught to never do that. And then you're put in a position where you don't have a choice.
Do you think that particularly in this country, there's a cultural phenomenon that has been happening for decades of, I need to be better than my neighbor. I need to be better than my peer at work. Constant competition, constant drive to achieve the greatness, constant drive of being perfect, constant exposure to I'm the best that I can be. Nobody can see my weaknesses. Nobody can see the things that I do wrong or the fact that I am not perfect. Do you think that has something to do with the fact that we have such a difficult time giving up and tapping?
I think it's bigger than that because I'm going to guess on the mats in other countries, it's probably very much the same way. So, but, you know, when we were talking to David in the beginning, we talked very much about culture and the effect that the culture has on the martial art, right? So does that have something to do here? Probably, you know, but I would think that that's anywhere where there is a male-driven sports ethic, I think has something to do with that. Because I think that's where, you know, be a man, right? You're not allowed to be vulnerable. You're not allowed to cry. I don't think that's unique to the American culture. I think that's probably widespread throughout the males of a lot of cultures, if not all of them. You know, one thing I want to say before this is a segue here or off topic, but one thing I wanted to say is our guests, there's a lot of them that are over 50, right? We've had a lot of them. And one thing that they all talk about is their joints, their injuries. And they all say, I wish I would have tapped more.
Oh, you're talking about the physical,
right? The physical, because you did bring it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to make sure that the younger guys that listen know that it's, you know, they
all of them just turned off the phones.
Right, no, I just want I want them to tap when I have something poorly sunk in. No. So,
no, but listen, I can testify to that too. I mean, I remember when I was a white and blue, I didn't tap for. I remember a couple of tournaments, like clearly in my mind, like it was yesterday. It's like he's gonna break my arm. I will never tap. I remember one of my first tournaments as a white belt. I got caught in a triangle. I did not tap. I almost passed out. I didn't tap. You know, I got out of it and I won the match, but I didn't tap.
See? What would have happened? Your whole life would have been different if you would have tapped.
But my point is that, you know, like, you know, there's few reasons why I think, one, tapping should not be viewed as failure. Two, I think is extremely important in what we do. The point of, and I'm not even talking about the learning part, but the fact of us acknowledging the fact that we can't explore what it feels like when we are in these situations if we not put ourselves in vulnerable spots. Now, we can't put ourselves in vulnerable spots if we don't have a safety net, and that tap is a safety net.
Yeah,
That's
if we didn't have it,
us.
if jiu-jitsu didn't have it, there wouldn't be very many people doing it.
No. I mean, and those who would probably would not be doing it either because they would have broken arms. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you know, it wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I think sometimes when you're now when I hold out, you know, and I'm not tapping and I should, you know, it's right there. Should I, you know, is this, you know, what's going to happen here if I don't? If I'm thinking logically about, is there a path out of this for me? You know, I'll tough it out a little bit longer, but you have to realize, I think in those moments before it's too late, before there's anything impactful and negative happening to your body, they got me. There's no path out for me. Tap, you know, you got me. So what's so hard about that? And I think that the more people do that, you know, you're going to be able to train longer. You're going to be able to put more rounds in. You're going to be able to put that ego aside a little bit more often and develop rather than, you know, just getting your ass handed to you because you never tap and not growing. Right. you know. And it's also I think you should acknowledge your training partner that you got me.
You got me. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Right.
I mean, you can look at it as failure, or you can look at it as their success.
Right? We talked about it the other day.
Half glass full, half empty. I mean, it's all about your attitude. I mean, listen, it's just like Mondays suck. No, they don't. Your attitude does.
We talked about it the other day. Your success is my success. If somebody's got you,
they got you.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah,
let them
absolutely.
Don't
celebrate
let them.
With
and
them.
when I say let them have it, I don't mean like give them the choke, give them the position. I mean, give them the acknowledgement that they bested you in that moment.
Well, coincidentally, in like shameless plug, but like on Ask the Black Belt, my other short clip, podcast that I have, and tune in. Last week, literally, I put a little clip or little, 6-minute episodes where I talked about tapping early versus tapping too early. There's a very fine line there, right? That we can spin this entire conversation into being quote unquote safe and tapping when you don't need to tap, right? And
well, you can. It's a cop out at that point,
right? Right, and at that point, you're not learning anything either, right? So it's a very fine line when you should tap, and all of this will depend on who you are, what you do, your comfort level. Right? But the point is, it's okay to tap. Now, I will tell you guys out there, you find yourself in the situations when you tap early, you're not learning, right? You're not going to experiment with that depth of that situation, right? So don't ever get hurt. Don't hurt your partners. Matter of fact, I tell my students all the time, if I have you in a submission, it's my responsibility, not yours, to let go. Okay, even if you don't tap, and I do this all the time. Even if you don't tap, I'm gonna let go because I know I have it. Mm-hmm. I'm not waiting for you to tap. I mean, sometimes I do.
Well, I mean, it's.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, sometimes know you have it and you let it go. Sometimes you don't know you have it, so you're gonna keep it and you're gonna keep working on making it a little bit better. How you not know you have it? Moving that lapel, it might just be another quarter of an inch, and now you really got it. Where you didn't have it. Their chin's underneath. You know? Look, if you're watching this on YouTube, look at the difference between this and this.
Now you look like David Meyer on the cover of his book.
Yeah. No, I look like Izuki. See? Look at the difference, right? Oh, and this hurts and it sucks and this is terrible. Oh, now I got it. So
crazy.
Yes.
Listen, if you are still listening to this, if we didn't lose you,
I can get out of any submission.
Oh wow.
Double tap.
Wow.
Right there. I did it again. Look.
Wow.
I'm out. Any submission. Double tap.
My sincere apologies to all of you guys. You guys had to witness this.
What? Listen,
if you're
man,
listening this on a podcast, you should tune in to YouTube version because we will post this, or this will be on our YouTube channel, and you want to see all this nonsense that Gary's doing.
Yes. Let's get away from the nonsense, but I will say the double tap gets you out every time. We are doing a little something with the website. We were supposed to say this in the beginning.
I'm glad you brought this up. Listen, we have some cool gear to give out. We have some cool T-shirts to give out. But more importantly, we are looking for your feedback. So we've been getting a lot of messages about different clips and comments and about different episodes, different guests, and we know you guys are loving it. There's at this point, thousands upon thousands of people listening to all of this, and hundreds of thousands, right? Almost. But anyhow, it's a lot.
Depends on how you slice it.
Yeah, depends how you slice it. But there's a lot of people listening to this show, and listen, you guys are sending messages and all this. We created a very simple platform where you can go to our website and you can give us, essentially write up a paragraph. What did you like and why did you like it? Okay, go to therowradio.com/vote. There's a simple form. Put your name, put your email address, and then put which episode you liked and why you liked it. We are going to, every month, we'll bring up a few of them. We'll draw a winner. We'll send you a cool a Raw Radio T-shirt for free. It's all on us.
Available in the continental United States.
Oh, there you go. In case this podcast doesn't work out, Gary has a future in
Well, hey,
commercials.
You know how expensive it is to send a gi to Australia.
Listen, give us feedback. Give us what you like, why you liked it. It doesn't matter if it's episode number 1 and you're making fun of us, or if it's episode 143 and it's a great conversation with one of the Dirty Dozens. We want to hear from you. drop in, and so it happens. You actually can get a T-shirt. You know, every month we'll draw in a winner, we'll announce it, we'll read your comments.
Take
online.
a picture in the T-shirt, post it. Otherwise, you got to send it back.
Wow. Gary's on fire.
Demanding.
Today. Gary's on fire. Let's wrap this up.
All right, peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.